What is going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Roach Podcast. Always glad to be back on the microphone once again. Folks, if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, okay? The Mike Roach Podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never, ever miss an update, okay? And I'm on Instagram, folks, at Mike Roach7. I'm on X at Mike Roach23. I'm on TikTok, the Mike Roach, the one Mike Roach. So the number one, Mike Roach on TikTok. Okay. Folks, we do have some serious things that we have to get into today on this podcast. Number one, we're going to be talking about Justin Trudeau. I think we all know what happened there, him resigning as the Prime Minister of Canada. And then I'm going to jump over to the NBA and discuss another serious topic in regards to Pat Riley, Jimmy Butler, and the Miami Heat. And I'm going to bring it back to Canada to speak about black teens going missing in the GTA. I mean, what the hell is that about? What is going on? What is going on? And why am I just hearing about this now? That is a problem, folks. That is a problem. So because of the seriousness of this podcast, we don't have any time to waste. We just got to jump right into this thing. Okay. So the first thing that we want to talk about here is Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau, we knew for a long time, was pretty much going down as the Prime Minister of Canada. We didn't know what the hell was going to happen. We heard his own MPs were turning against him before Christmas and that he was going to go into the holiday taking some time to think about what he was going to do in the near future. So it comes out that on January 6th, he calls for a press meeting and he announces that he has resigned as the Prime Minister of Canada. And pretty much what that means is, yes, he resigns as the Prime Minister, but he's still pretty much the interim Prime Minister because there is no one right now to take his place. They did not call an election, and they're looking at possibly getting somebody else in the Liberal Party to replace him, I guess, until there would be a federal election. Now, people are pretty pissed off about that. People are pretty pissed off about that because once again, you are not putting it in the hands of Canadians to choose who the next prime minister is. It's just up to the Liberal Party at this point. Now, the one thing that he did do that ticked people off was that he asked the Governor General, Mary Simon, to prorogue Parliament until March 24th, which pretty much means to suspend Parliament until then. So at that time in March, you or us, we will find out who will be taking over in the Liberal Party as the next prime minister. But there still can be an election early in May or June if they can trigger one. Okay, so the way this works is that the House of Commons, there's a House of Commons, there's 338 seats. You need 172 seats to be a majority government. The Liberals currently hold 153 seats in the House of Commons. Conservative Party hold 120 seats. So now you're going to need the help of the Bloc Québécois and the new Democratic Party, known as the NDP, led by Jagmeet Singh, to help you trigger an election. That's what has to happen. And if that happens, it won't happen before May or June. At least that's what I'm hearing. So I think Canadians are also quite ticked off about that because once again, now you've suspended Parliament. Donald Trump is about to be in office in 2 weeks, and he's threatening 25% tariffs. And we kind of don't know who the hell is in charge at this point. No problems there, right? No problems there. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me at this point? I mean, seriously, this is something else, man. Canada is an absolute mess right now. It's an absolute mess. There is no functioning parliament at this point when something extremely serious like Donald Trump is going to be back in the White House within a couple weeks. And we got nobody in charge. We got no one in charge. And this is all happening while Canada is a mess. People can't afford housing or groceries. They're losing their jobs. Economy's weak. Crime is going crazy. The immigration system is destroyed. I already mentioned to you about the tariffs. So all of this is happening while all these other things are happening as well. Isn't that wonderful that the Liberal government can suspend Parliament for a few months so they can, try to get their ish together, I guess, to find a new party leader. But I mean, how much is that going to make a difference at this point? I don't think it really will. I just think it's going to make Canadians even more angry at this point, to be completely honest with you. I mean, there's going to be a shift here, folks. There is going to be a big shift here. And, was I sad to see Justin Trudeau make this announcement? No. Maybe some people were. And it's nothing personal against Justin Trudeau. I don't want people to tune into my podcast and think this is the Bash Justin Trudeau show. It's really not. It's nothing personal. It just has to do with how are Canadians feeling. You can't tell Canadians how to feel. They feel the way they feel for a reason. And ultimately, people have no choice but to respect that. The majority and the large majority of people, I would say, are probably not wrong, if you know what I'm saying. They're just probably not. But it's there's certain things that tick me off when it comes to listening to Justin Trudeau. Like, I just think he's completely lost what it's like to be the average Canadian citizen. He just has no idea. And so I want to play this clip for you just so you can see what the hell I'm talking about here, because it really makes absolutely positively no sense to me. Okay. It might to some people, but it doesn't to me. Take a look here, folks. Exhibit A. Let me share my screen with you. And let's go to Trudeau here for a second, okay? I'm going to play this for you. Just listen to this for a second.
You spoke about the Liberal Party as an institution and the internal battles right now, but I'm wondering if you feel that another leader will have more success than you will at beating Pierre Poilievre in the next campaign.
Pierre Poilievre's vision for this country is not the right one for Canadians. Stopping the fight against climate change doesn't make sense.
Okay, folks. Now, I want to say this. So, and you have to remember, I'm not on one side or the other. I'm not on one side or the other. I'm not some maniac liberal or some maniac conservative. I go where I believe best serves my interest, right? So, Pierre Poilievre's vision of this country is terrible, but somehow Justin Trudeau's was great. And then after that, he talks about Pierre Poilievre not wanting to fight against climate change. Against climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have kids in the room right now, I suggest you turn down the volume just a little bit. Just a little bit right at this point. Mr. Trudeau, respectfully. Do you think anybody gives a shit about climate change when you can't pay the rent? When you can't afford the groceries? He doesn't seem to understand that people are struggling extremely. They cannot see past what's in their pocket. Why the hell are you talking about climate change?
Backing off on the values and strength in diversity that Canada has always worked to pull itself together on is not the right path for the country. Attacking journalists, the CBC institutions, that's not what Canadians need in this moment.
Well, maybe they should be more objective and then stop being so damn biased. Maybe there'd be some difference there. Anyway, I'm going to take you to another clip. I don't even remember what this clip is. I just have it marked here. So let's see what this is. What I'm going to be angry about here. Let's see. Let's go to a little bit more. Let's just start it here.
Pour le Parlement.
En anglais, mais si vous pouvez dire pourquoi pas une
We started
élection.
here.
Vous l'avez pas dit.
The parliamentary press gallery, and anyone who's been watching politics closely over the past months will know that Parliament has been entirely seized by obstruction and filibustering and a total lack of productivity over the past few months. We are right now the longest serving minority government in history, and it's time for a reset. It's time for the temperature to come down, for the people to have a fresh start in Parliament, to be able to navigate through these complex times, both domestically and internationally.
Okay, now I'm just going to stop it here. Yes, I do agree that people in Canada need a reset. But damn it, they don't want to reset with the Liberals. I'll tell you that much. That's why they want an election. Seriously. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, this is
completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. This is completely BS. This is shame.
Take it easy. But it is a damn shame that Canadians do have to deal with this at this point. Just put it in their hands and call a damn election. Seriously. This is beyond ridiculous at this point. I do understand now that at this point we have no choice but to wait. We have to wait. But I mean, my God, new leadership cannot come fast enough in this country. It really, really can't. And I'm going to move on, folks, because the conversation is not going to stop here. This is damn near going to be every podcast by now. There's always something else coming out. There's always something coming out. Oh, my gosh. Before I go, did you guys hear what Donald Trump had to say about Trudeau resigning? Let me play it for you. I think I got it right here. Let me make sure this is the one.
That son of a bitch off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired.
Jesus. Take it easy. Okay. Just joking here, folks. Let me move on quickly to Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley, and the Miami Heat. Now, if you follow the NBA like I do, clearly you know that things are pretty bad between Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. And at this point, I don't think they're going to be able to salvage anything. That's what I think, at least. Maybe somehow they will be able to if they don't get to move him and they want him to play. I don't really know. But for those who may not have been following this as closely as I have, I'm going to send you through a little timeline of what has happened between the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. So for a lot of the information, not for a lot of it, for pretty much all the information I have, I'm at a website, allyoucanheat.com. And there was an article here that came out a few days ago by Joshua Gitman. And it was really good with a timeline of what has been going on between the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. And I want to bring it back just a little bit, okay, to 2024, May 6th. The Boston Celtics just ended up just ended up destroying the Miami Heat. I believe it was a 4-0 sweep. And Jimmy Butler made some comments saying that the Heat would have beaten the Boston Celtics if he were healthy. And Pat Riley heard what he said, and I guess he was in a press conference, and he ended up giving his opinion on what Jimmy Butler had to say, and I'm going to play that for you and just go down the list after that, okay? So let's get into this here. Here we go.
For him to say that, I thought, is that Jimmy trolling or is that Jimmy serious? If you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut in your criticism of those teams.
Now, apparently, this is where they're saying this beef started. This is where they're saying the beef started. I'm not 100% sure that's what started. I think there was things going on behind the scenes as well. I do remember one time Jimmy Butler, it was either a year or two ago, did step up to Eric Spoelstra in a very disrespectful way. Eric Spoelstra is the head coach of the Miami Heat. And Udonis Haslem, who was pretty much, the guy who was the veteran who keeps everybody in check, did step up to Jimmy Butler and, kind of handle that situation in-house. But I believe there has been things that have been going on behind the scenes, and things are just starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So apparently this was an issue for Jimmy Butler. Pat Riley telling him to keep his mouth shut. And this is the NBA. People make a lot of money. People have big egos, and they don't just let things slide like that. So I told you that was May 6th. Let's fast forward a month here, a month and a half, June 26, 2024, when Jimmy Butler is trying to get an extension from the Miami Heat. Let me play this for you.
There he is, the NBA insider, Shams Charania. Sham, let's go back to something that's very important, especially when it comes to news, which is presented by AT&T 5G, fast, reliable, and secure. Let's focus on the Miami Heat, who are slated to pick 15th in this first round. What else is happening down in the 305 with this Heat organization?
So Bam Adebayo, their cornerstone center, he is expected to sign a 3-year, $166 million maximum contract with the Heat in free agency. Once teams are able to agree to extensions and sign extensions after the league moratorium. But Jimmy Butler, he's going to play out next season under his current contract with the Heat. I'm told he will not be signing an extension with the Heat or any other team ahead of his opt-out in 2025 free agency. And this clears up any notion of a trade demand out of Jimmy Butler. He intends to play out next season. He has an affinity for Miami, wants to be with the Heat next season. So he has 2 years remaining on his deal, $49 million this upcoming year. Then that player option in 2025 for $52 million. And I'm told Jimmy Butler is absolutely determined to have a big season next year and set himself up for a major payday in 2025 free agency when he can sign a deal 4 years up to $240 million.
All right. So Jimmy Butler did not get the extension that he wanted with the Miami Heat. That also, to me, ramps everything up because he did not get his money the way he sees it. September 30th, 2024, Media Day, Butler said he just wants to focus on the season ahead. Skip forward to December 10th. The Heat are open to listening to offers for Jimmy Butler. So this is making me start to think that things are happening in the background in regards to Jimmy Butler starting to tune this team out and him just starting to do his own thing because he wants to force himself the hell out of town. Okay. According to Shams Charania, the Heat are open to listening to offers for Jimmy Butler, league sources told ESPN. And the 6-time All-Star is believed to prefer a win-now contender in any trade. December 26th, Pat Riley issues a statement saying they are not trading Jimmy Butler. So, from a guy who's worked in media for a decade now, not really media, I've worked in broadcasting behind the scenes for the Raptors, but I I talk to a lot of people, whether it be I've talked to scouts, I've talked to coaches, I've talked to GMs before from different teams. I've talked to owners before. A lot of the time when you hear a GM say something, just believe the opposite. Just believe the opposite. And I'll leave it at that. December 31st, Butler says he's uncertain if he wants to remain in Miami anymore. This is when it starts to become really problematic. January 1st, this is where it really starts to get bad. The Miami Heat accused Jimmy Butler of not playing his hardest in return against the Pelicans. In his first game back, after 5-game absence, Jimmy Butler, a day after saying he was uncertain he wanted to remain in Miami, had his most unusual performance of the season against the Pelicans, playing 25 minutes, only taking 5 shots, finishing with 9 points. For most of the game, Butler was standing in a corner. They're pretty much saying he didn't do anything on purpose. January 2nd, Jimmy Butler requests a trade. January 3rd, the Miami Heat give him a 7-game suspension. Excuse me. Which tallies approximately $3 million. And when you do that, that is a problem because we don't really know what the suspension was for. You can't get suspended for just going on a microphone saying, I don't want to play here anymore. That would make sense. So there has to be other things going on in the background that we don't know about. Right? So, and then on top of that, the Players Association says that they're filing a grievance against the Miami Heat. So they're going to be fighting to get that money back for Jimmy Butler. This is a whole mess now at this point. This is a whole mess. And today is January 7th. It just came out that Jimmy Butler does not, I repeat, does not want to go in a trade to the Memphis Grizzlies. So you can rule that out. This is a disaster. An absolute disaster. And I don't think they're going to be able to come back from this. And I'm not 100% sure they're going to be able to trade Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has a player option after this year, and it's about $53 million for next season. That's a lot of dough. That's a lot of dough. So a team can trade for Jimmy Butler, and then he can be out of there. So it's a very, very tricky situation if you're the Miami Heat. Brian Windhorst did report to ESPN today that the offers coming in to the Miami Heat are absolutely terrible. And at this point, of course, it's going to be terrible. The Miami Heat have absolutely no leverage. And every offer that comes their way is going to be a lowball. That's why we're hearing reports that if a deal does not get done, the Miami Heat are expecting Jimmy Butler to show up after his suspension and play. Period. And so I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know how this thing is going to end. But I have a feeling that time is going to go by and Jimmy Butler is still going to be in a Miami uniform. Unless they can find a way to make the deal work with the Phoenix Suns. Because that's really where he wants to go. He wants to be in Phoenix. And they're going to have to get rid of Bradley Beal if they want to make that deal happen. Bradley Beal is one of 2 players aside from LeBron James that has a no trade clause. The Miami Heat, according to reports, do not want Bradley Beal. So if this is going to work between Bradley Beal and the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat, there will have to be a third team to facilitate Bradley Beal's contract to. He's going to have to go somewhere else, but it ain't going to be the Miami Heat. So this is interesting. Keep your eye on this. Keep your eye on this, folks, because, I mean, seriously, I just don't know how this is going to go. But let me tell you something right now, man. You put Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler in a room together right now at this point. You want me to tell you what it's going to sound like? You want to hear? That's what it'll sound like. And I'm not sure Pat Riley would be the one getting beat up, because I'm still convinced he's in the mafia. And he most likely has 3 different pairs of brass knuckles. Okay? So I don't know what the hell is going to be going on with the Miami Heat, but it's getting messy over there. It really, really is. All right, folks. I want to transition into something that has been going on in Canada here in regards to the GTA. For those who watch me or listen to me in America, I'm new on YouTube, but I've been on Spotify and Apple for years. And I see that my second largest demographic is in America. There are some people listening to me there. Whenever you hear me say the GTA, that means the Greater Toronto Area. Black teens, a lot of them are going missing in the GTA. I'm not sure what the hell is going on here. And apparently, people have been talking about this for months, which I didn't know about because I didn't hear a damn thing about this. I was at Scotiabank Arena and one of the TVs was on the news, and I saw the headline and I saw the mayor of Brampton talking about it. And I got home after a game and I put it on the news again, and my wife was still up. I said, "Have you heard about this?" She said, "Yeah, I've been hearing about this. It's been on the news for a while." I said, "I didn't hear a damn thing. What the hell is going on here?" So where are all these black teens disappearing to? Where the hell are they? Is there a serial killer on the loose? I mean, what the hell is going on here? Let me play something for you guys because I want to show you the clip that I saw on the news. Do another screen share here for you. I'm going to play this for you. Let's start it back here.
Videos sound the alarm on several missing black boys across the GTA, acting as a catalyst for change. Fear and confusion can be seen in the comment section of posts like this one.
Many young black people are missing and nobody's doing anything about it, people.
And this one.
This is a problem. What are the police doing? Where are these young boys? Why are they all missing?
Taking social media by storm, leaving the community with more questions than answers, petitioning for action. Over 500 people joined the online call, with another 400 sitting in the virtual waiting room.
And the voices of the community spoke loud, which compelled us to create an atmosphere and a platform to bring the community together.
Brampton's Black Empowerment Unit invited representatives from several police forces across the GTA, dignitaries, and community leaders to speak with concerned residents.
The fact this was happening, and you didn't see it in any newspaper or any TV station, and yet it was terrifying the community.
But psychotherapist Marcy Gray says there's more to the story that we need to dive into, which she says is that all of our systems are failing our Black youth, whether it's the mental health, healthcare, criminal justice, or the education system.
We have these statistics that tell us that they are having all these challenges in all these systems. And so now it's a matter of looking at each of these systems and figuring out how do we now make things better for them.
According to statistics shared by Toronto Police Detective Shona Patterson, more than half of missing youth in the city of Toronto in 2024 were Black.
There's a total of 200 youths in the past year that went missing in the city of Toronto. So those are ages between 12 and 17.
Patterson says out of those 110 missing Black youth, 4 remain outstanding.
One of the things that we know in the space of missing young people is that young people are running to something or running away from something, or it could be a mental health crisis.
Mitchell says there's also another insidious issue playing a part here.
And that is young people being corrupted by older people to go to different parts of this province to sell drugs where they're paying them.
Another missing boys town hall is taking place in North York on January 16th at Revival Time Tabernacle from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Rianne Campbell, City News.
That is very concerning, folks. That is very concerning. And, because you don't really have too much information on where these kids are going missing, it's kind of hard to find out where to begin when you talk about this. It really is. Like, I mean, what do you say here? What do you say? Like, where does this begin? Does it begin in the home? Does it begin with making sure more fathers are present? Because you have to remember, they didn't say black children. They said black boys. So this is clearly not affecting black girls missing and disappearing as much as it is the boys. Now, you got to be careful when you speak about this, because when you don't have all the facts, you'll seem ignorant when you just start talking, right? And you might say some things that people are going to be pissed off about, but do you just go ahead and say it anyway? Like when I say we need to have more present fathers in the household, is that the case for everybody? Probably not. There's all different kinds of circumstances that people are dealing with and going through. So that may not be the case for all of these young men or these kids. We don't know what the case is. I need some more information about this. I'm going to have to find somebody that I can speak to that has more information about what the hell is going on here. I do. But damn, when I think about this, it does make me see the importance of the nuclear family. It really does. And as much as people don't want to go there or say that, I will go there and say that. I will. Now, I mentioned circumstances are different for everyone. So that's not necessarily the issue all the time. But there is an importance there. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if I can get a guest and see what the hell's going on here. But the last thing I want to say about this is a lot of people haven't heard and didn't know about this, including me, which is why it is important that as young Black people as well, that we have our independent media. It is important because I didn't hear a damn thing about this, like I mentioned, until the last 2 days. Okay? At Mike Roach 7 on Instagram, at Mike Roach 23 on X. The one, THE1, the number one, Mike Roach, the one Mike Roach on TikTok. And make sure, folks, you follow, like, subscribe, share, and rate everything in regards to the Mike Roach Podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so that you never miss an update. Folks, it is your boy, Mike Roach. Glad to be back. Feeling a bit better now, getting, into it a little bit more. And there's just, I'm already looking at stuff to talk to for the next podcast because there is just so much going on right now. And I don't even know where to begin or where to end, but I'm juiced up and I'm glad to be back on the microphone. It is your boy, Mike Roach. You'll hear me again soon, folks. And I'm out.